Hello, friends, and welcome to your Daily Detroit, sharing what to know and where to go in Southeast Michigan from our beautiful studio at Techtown in the Paris of the Midwest. That is Detroit. I am Jer Stays, joining you as I have for more than 1,700 episodes. And to my left is none other than the Prince of Brightmoor himself, Norris Howard. How are you?
How is everybody doing, man? I am very, very excited to be back here for another fantabulous episode of Daily Detroit.
Fantabulous.
Yes. Splendiferous. I love this show, man. Listen, I just want to say very quickly, I thoroughly enjoy recording Daily Detroit. I get to talk about one of my favorite things, which is the city of Detroit. One of my favorite people, which is Jer Stays. On one of my favorite days, which is Wednesday, is when we record. And
we're going to have some fun stories that we're going to get into, as well as some news. But why don't we start first with something that you did, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, man. So one thing I did was I went to a good friend of mine's tattoo shop. Livernois. It's called Dainty. It is this is her talking points now. It is a tattoo shop for the girls, gays, and theys, and so it is very much so. LGBTQ friendly. It's all about, not these big, huge tattoos. It's all about people who are maybe dipping their toes into tattooing, or people who love having the multiple smaller tattoos. It's really dope. It's a fun place. And she had a party for the opening. Her name's Sophia. And it was really fun, man. And I just love to see that sort of business opening up on the Avenue of Fashion, because it provides something that wasn't there before, but also adds to the tapestry of the Avenue of Fashion that has really become one of the most vibrant areas and vibrant commercial thoroughfares in the entire city. It's always been vibrant, but we're starting to see a resurgence of it over the past few years. Tons of restaurants. You're starting to see the shops there get even stronger, barbershops, beauty shops. It's really an incredible place in the city, and you should definitely slide down and check the whole strip out, because it's all cool.
You know, when you sent this video to our member-only Discord, which you can be a part of if you join us on Patreon, patreon.com/dailydetroit, I showed it to my partner, and she was all about the designs. And she doesn't even have any, but she's been thinking about it.
Yeah.
And she's all about the designs. It looks really good. And the Avenue of Fashion, man, so much history. If people don't know, if you're just tuning in for the first time, Avenue of Fashion has a long history. Marvin Gaye lived right around the corner from there. His house still stands.
Yep. Yeah. And, it's a neighborhood that, my family has been in, and my mom grew up on Stopel, which is literally the street right to the west of Livernois.
Shout out to Chase Cantrell, who's doing great stuff at building community value in the Bagley neighborhood right behind the Avenue of Fashion.
Yeah, so it's really a fantastic area, but I definitely want to share this because it is not often that you see a sort of new concept on a tattoo parlor, but also in an area that kind of hasn't really had that type of business before, and I think it's fantastic. So word out to Sophia, word out to everybody that's going to be at Dainty. Go check it out. And yeah, it's going to be a good time.
For sure. I used to stay over in the University District. A couple of businesses that come to mind if you want to make a day over there. And this is not a comprehensive list. You got Good Cakes and Bakes.
Yep. You got Cuzzo's.
You've got, what is it? The fashion store? The
Bartell 313.
Zone. And then there's 313, and then there's the ones the Bartell Zone. Hence the Avenue of Fashion.
Yes. I forgot the name of that one.
Baker's Keyboard Lounge.
Baker's is
Can't
over
forget
there.
Baker's.
Nope.
And even
you got a Bucharest over there.
You do. And
you got Pequeño over there.
If you're near Ferndale, you can just drop right on down. And also, you can go straight up Livernois and get to places in Ferndale, too. So it's a really cool thing. And then the bike lanes there. I know people get mad at me when I talk about bike lanes, but I don't care. They're protected in the way that they're actually up on the sidewalk. Yeah. Which is really nice if you're biking through there.
It is. And so that stretch from 9 Mile all the way down to about 6 Mile is all kinds of stuff going on Livernois. The Avenue of Fashion, go and check it out. And check out all the cool stuff, man. I'm really excited to see continued development in that place.
I do want to give one RIP to the Avenue of Fashion.
Yeah.
See what this is? I have a VIP card.
Oh, Narrow Way.
Cafe.
Man, I used to really love
There were only
Narrow Way.
100 of these, 10% off forever.
Yep.
Because I used to live up there, and I was one of the first customers. I keep this in here as a reminder for what Pastor Merritt and them were doing over there at Narrow Way Cafe. By the way, they've got a huge sports community center that they're partnering with Merritt Goodness down the way on
Grand River.
On Grand River that they're doing.
96.
Got to have them in on the show because they're doing some really cool stuff with the community over there. But I just wanted to shout out, I really wish that Narrow Way would come back. But you can go to Detroit Sip over there on 6 Mile.
You can. Word out to Pastor Merritt over there. Merritt Park is the name of that facility that's popping up on Grand River in 96.
Simply Casual, I think it was.
Simply Casual is still over there.
The other place I was talking about.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the name. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. You know, I'm going to take us back downtown.
Let's get it.
We're going to get a little nerdy.
Okay.
It should not surprise you. The Detroit Symphony Orchestra this Friday
Oh, snap.
is doing the music of Batman 1989.
Produced by Prince. I can't wait. Listen. I'll say this: the first two Batman movies, to me, are
It's a Danny Elfman score.
No, and Danny Elfman did it, but Prince did. Prince did the soundtrack.
Correct.
He did the soundtrack. He didn't do the score. But the first two Batman movies are my favorite Batman movies. I know everybody always wants to talk about Dark Knight Rises and all that kind of stuff. The Chris Nolan trilogy, those are okay. But for me, I love the campy foolishness, Jack Nicholson, Joker, like Danny DeVito, Penguin. Like, that's the Batman that I like.
See, I think it does a great job of bridging from the super camp that was the early Batman,
the
the
David
60s.
West, yeah.
Yeah, that was super camp. And this
Yeah.
did a good job with nods to it,
Yeah.
but still having that Tim Burton darkness.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. Like, that's what I love about it, man. To me, Michael Keaton is still the best Batman. He's not the best Bruce Wayne, but he's the best Batman.
Okay, who's the best Bruce Wayne?
Ooh. To me, the best Bruce Wayne is, I'm going to say it, y'all. I think it's Pattinson. I think it's Robert Pattinson, man.
Okay.
I think Robert Pattinson has gotten young, broody, depressed Bruce Wayne down pat. Like, but a very close second would be Christian Bale.
So here are the details. Batman 1989 in concert at the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, Friday, July 25th, 7:30 p.m. You're going to want to check this out. This is actually in partnership with the Motor City Comic Con.
That makes sense.
It makes total sense. If
Makes
I was
perfect
not
sense.
if I was not going to be on my way to the Windy City,
Yeah.
I would make sure to partake because you know what? One of my favorite. There are a number of NES games that were among my favorites in Nintendo games. Batman of that era was one of them.
Do you know that's one of the hardest NES games ever made, alongside Ninja Turtles?
You know what my two favorite games were, right?
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles and Batman.
Then you should play. Something crazy like Elden Ring or Bloodborne. Like, if you like hard games, you should play one of those.
Do I have the time to learn that?
No, you don't. You don't.
Can Big Lucci, the new guy, can he give me a cheat code?
Hey, they don't even do that in games anymore.
No.
In cheat
no
codes.
Up, down, left, arrow,
No more
A,
cheat
B,
codes,
A,
man.
B, whatever.
No more Cheat Codes, no more Game Sharks, none of that.
Oh, man. Game Genie.
No more Game Genies.
Oh, that's funny.
They got rid of that because that was culturally inappropriate.
Understatement. Let's get into some more serious news. There is a new primary poll for the mayoral race.
Yeah, man.
I want to dive into it because there's some changes. And those changes involve the second place. Now, Mary Sheffield, current city council president, continues to lead at the top spot. This poll is by Target Insight of Lansing. Shout out to Deadline Detroit for sharing this information. This is a poll of 400 voters taken just like a week or so ago.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, margin of error plus or minus 5 points. So, you know, with a smaller sample like this,
Yeah.
things can be shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good little snapshot. So, Mary Sheffield, 34%. Sontiel Jenkins, up to the second spot at 17%. Really making up a lot of ground. Pastor Solomon Kinlock, 16%. Other candidates in the poll include Durhal, 6%. So a little bit of progress for him, but not as
lot,
much.
yeah.
Former police chief James Craig, 6%. Todd Perkins, 4%. Joel Hashim, 1%. And Jonathan Barlow, less than 1%. There's some interesting other breakdowns with this. especially racially? Do you want to get into those, or do you want to have some first thoughts?
No, first thoughts. Obviously, I think it just stands to reason that this is Mary Sheffield's race to lose
for the first spot.
For the first spot, but I think overall, it is her race to lose. I think she's so far and away in the front, just based off her experience and her ground game so far. Is going to be hers to lose. However, I think what's really interesting is if you dive a little bit deeper into the data, when it's broken down racially, you get to see a big old number of between 14 and 13% undecided voters. That can swing this race, particularly in this primary, wide open depending on which way those undecided voters go.
For sure. And you look at the differences between African-American voters and white voters and what their preference is.
There's one candidate off the rip who is like, okay.
So when it comes to black voters, Sheffield has 36% support. Then Kinloch and Jenkins are locked together at 19% with 14% undecided. That's a big, big number.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to white voters, Sheffield still leads 33%, still in the strong seat. Craig, not surprisingly, 16%.
Yeah.
Because there is a section of Republicans in the city.
Absolutely there is.
There is a section of that. Jenkins and Durhal with 15%. Durhal's strong support doesn't surprise me.
Nope.
But Jenkins and Durhal, Perkins with 4%, Kinloch with 3%. And that hits the vibes, because I got to tell you, there's a vibe when it comes to certain residents that, Kinloch ain't it. Yeah. As far as how they're feeling. I'm not sharing my opinion.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
No, and I'm hearing a lot similar. I think what Jenkins has been able to do is kind of capture a little bit of the more progressive aspects of the electorate. Listen, Mary Sheffield in her stances, for most people, feel pretty middle of the road. They feel pretty safe, pretty standard, at least as far as Detroit politics goes. She would kind of feel like a continuation of what we already have, which is what people are seeming to want.
I think almost all candidates have a portion of continue what has been going on and then do better in their version of it.
Exactly. But I think this big difference between black and white voters, particularly on James Craig and on Kinloch, is very telling. I think the black church still is revealing to have a very strong hold on the black electorate in Detroit and will continue to do so. That just is not a part of the equation when we're talking about white voters.
I was talking with some fellow members of the media yesterday, and one of the things that we're going to see a little bit in this election, but much more so in the next one and the one after, with the change of demographics in the city and then some other folks rolling off, let's be polite.
Yeah.
You're going to see a pretty big change in the electorate because certain groups vote a lot more than other groups. That's just what it is. Yeah. And I think that this election is going to be kind of the last election that looks this way. In 4 years, you're going to see another shift. And then 4 years after that, assuming trends continue, you're going to see yet another shift, especially because there is such a gap in participation. I talked with some listeners about this because I got some pushback while we're covering all this stuff, right? And they're like, I'm not sure this city government is going to affect me. Because we did that call out. We did that call out, and people are like, does it really matter who I vote for?
Bro,
to be engaged in it.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave this at your doorstep because this isn't mine to talk about.
I'm going to just say this, man, and pardon my French, but if you think just because you don't F with government doesn't mean government won't F with you. It will, particularly city and local government, right? If you were talking about how the buses don't run on time, the street lights in your neighborhood are not turning on, or your water goes out way too much, or your basement floods when it rains, all this stuff is local government, all of it. Your grandma can't afford the taxes on her house no more. This is all local government stuff, man. So everybody thinks about government in the abstract or doesn't think about it in the abstract, or thinks about government from the perspective of, policing or what the mayor is doing. It is so much larger than that. It is so much more important than that. So when we're talking about voting and how important it is for you to vote and have your voice heard, one of the biggest complaints is that too much development is going downtown and not enough to the neighborhoods. You'd be able to change that with a change in whoever's sitting in office. Because if you vote for a person that wants to prioritize the neighborhoods, guess what happens? The neighborhoods get prioritized. It's as simple as that, my friends.
Well, I would love to hear your thoughts. dailydetroit@gmail.com. And if you don't know, we're recording this in front of a live audience on YouTube that's putting some comments in our feed. We're going to talk about that after the chat, but want to hear always your thoughts on all these things. All right, a little different corner of politics I want to talk about. There is a new piece out talking about the difference between Republican and Democratic views of cities around the nation.
Oh boy.
And what's interesting about it is that, to me, is that when it comes to major U.S. cities, it actually this is data that shows it has nothing to do with the facts on the ground.
No.
No matter how hard we try to say the good word about wherever we're at, however you come in is how you feel about it. So this data from YouGov polling says that Republicans visit large cities as often as, or even more often than Democrats, though they are less likely to live in them, and that the overall positive views of cities correlate with increased visitation and urban residency. This correlation doesn't hold true for Republicans. Okay? And so let's look at the data. When it comes to the city of Detroit, there's a number of cities here. You talk about New York, which is very much in the news right now, right? You talk about Chicago, places like that. It's completely different depending on your partisan view. So through this data that they've been able to find, it is Detroit is viewed +9, so +9% for Democrats. Democrats +9 favorability.
But they also view just about all cities more favorably.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
So that stands to reason.
When it comes to Republicans, it's -34.
Yeah, not
on
shocking.
Detroit. It's not shocking, but it's interesting to see the data.
Yeah.
I used to work in a lot of things, in a former life in marketing. And one of the things that I realized was trying to convince people of something that they just don't believe is a dead end.
Yeah, because it has nothing to do, not just nothing to do with the facts. It has everything to do with preconceived notion, implicit bias, all the stuff that we talk about that DEI destroys, or the defunding of DEI destroys. It's not shocking. I mean, listen, as somebody who grew up in the city of Detroit as a black man and has traveled this country, when I'm talking to people who are more aligned to where I am politically, I tend to get very positive. Hey, man, oh, you're from Detroit? Man, I hear there's all kinds of cool stuff happening in Detroit. Oh, man, I love all the music that comes out of Detroit, the art scene. Other people I've met from Detroit are so wonderful. And then I've been in other rooms with other types of people and said I was from Detroit, and now I am the magical Negro. Now I am the one that got out. I'm somehow special when I'm really not. I'm just a guy, right? And that in and of itself, before even, this is just completely anecdotal, but before we even, I don't need to see the data points because I in my existence have seen the data points play out in real time with a conversation with actual human beings. So it's frustrating, but also at the same time, we can't waste time trying to convince people of stuff that they are already convinced of.
When I worked for the Detroit Regional News Hub years ago as a concierge working with media, I often fielded calls from partisan sources. And one of the things it would be is they would always look for things to reinforce whatever thing that they came up with. Mm-hmm. And the thing was, even if I denied it, it didn't matter. They would just still do it anyway.
Yeah. And
it's just a wild thing with that, where I realized that there is no, in that job, I realized to a lot of people, your new, they'll gladly manipulate the news. And it's so funny to me because nowadays it's mainstream news isn't trusted. And I understand some of it, but I also don't, because I saw those partisan sites and what they do and how much they just twist things because it's about the clicks, which also, me talking about this means it's bad for clicks for us, but whatever.
No, but also, I mean, the thing about it, and I'm glad you're talking about it, because we have to understand that in Southeast Michigan in particular, and I know this was not centralized data, this was a national thing, but we also have to realize that in this region, and I'm talking to people in the suburbs, you have been fed foolishness about the city of Detroit for the better part of 50 years. You can't deprogram that in a couple months. We can't deprogram it with one podcast. We can only just hope to move the chains in the other direction a little bit. That's it. But when we're talking about, you heard nothing but negative news about Detroit and about cities in general from your state level legislatures, from your county your county executives, from your local city government, from your city councils, from your grandma, from your dad, from your uncles and aunties. Like, there is no way we are going to be able to close that gap without people just doing the very simple thing of just living here and having positive experiences. That's the only thing that would fix this.
For sure. All right, we are going to talk about something. Actually, we're going to wait for the live stream folks. We're waiting for a second. There's a giant bus.
Yeah, I don't know who's about to get off this bus.
But it's beeping.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can hear it, but I know that our audio listeners will be able to hear it.
Yeah, okay, he pulled off.
All right, cool. All right. Let's talk tax incentive programs. I know that sounds a little nerdy at first, but I want to get into it because it's tied to the Renaissance Center and Lakeside Mall. Two signature projects in the Detroit region. So here's the latest. The state's transformational brownfield plan tax incentive program is hitting roadblocks in Lansing, and this could delay these huge projects like GM's Ren Center and the Lakeside Mall demolition. The program's $1.6 billion cap is nearly maxed out, and lawmakers are distracted with budget battles, especially over road funding. A report in Crane Detroit Business says to not expect movement until after Labor Day, with budget deals possibly dragging into late September. These incentives are crucial for making these massive projects viable. The program is not cash grants. It's basically lets developers keep some future tax revenue generated by their redeveloped property. So this is not like
It's
money
not
off
a
the
check.
It's
We're
not
not
a check.
cutting a check.
Despite the current standstill, supporters remain hopeful about expanding the program, with legislation expected around October and possible passage early next year. One of the things that's a big push on this, Norris, is that Project Grit collapsed up in Flint. They put together so many billions of dollars in incentives for a SanDisk plant, and that fell completely through. And so the state's going to be looking for economic wins. I want to give people an update because it is such a major deal to both the city and the suburbs. And without this, neither one of these things is happening. And I know that I'm going to get people yelling at me at the comments, but yeah, a lot of things need to work to make projects of this scale happen.
Yeah, and it always has. And this is one of the things where I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding about it, right? I think one of the main things we've said on this show many times is we are not cutting checks to developers to get them to do these big projects. We're basically either giving them a rebate or a break on the back end after the project is already done. That's usually how it works. But the thing here is that, and I do want to call out Lansing. You won't hear me talk about state level politics very much, but I'm going to call out Lansing here. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but do you know we are at an 86-year low for bills passed in Lansing? That is the lowest amount of work Lansing has ever done. And so we are at this stalemate at the state level where so much work is not being done that this does not surprise me. And I don't even expect it to be done after Labor Day, to be perfectly honest with you, because we have a House and a Senate that can't agree on everything, or on anything, excuse me. And, you know, the executive, Gretchen, is waiting on stuff to get done, and it's just not happening. So I don't foresee anything happening of any import in Lansing until the midterms. And whether that go one way or the other, I expect nothing from Lansing because they've given us nothing.
This is a tough one. We've talked about the rent a ton of times, but I do want to highlight the 30-acre project that would be the former Lakeside Mall. Like, that place
It'd be fantastic.
It's a dead mall that would be turned into housing and offices and coffee shops and restaurants and a semi-walkable space. It's not exactly plugged into the grid, but that's not going to be for everybody. Yeah. I feel like it would be a huge improvement on the giant slab of concrete that is out there now. And look, Sterling Heights is a growing community. Sterling Heights has been seeing a lot of investment as of late. I think it's a good thing to highlight these things that are happening in different areas and helping them be more competitive, because a lot of things out that way were built decades ago, and it's starting to get long in the tooth too.
Well, and I mean, we go back to talking about what I just said earlier, which is voting, right? Like, all of that stuff is literally in jeopardy right now because we have a legislature that can't agree on some basic stuff. Basic stuff, road funding. We all need better roads. We all know that. And we can't even get to an agreement point on that. Like, that is what holds up all this stuff. And yet, people don't see the importance of voting. Don't you want stuff done? Well, the only way you get stuff done is by putting people in the legislature that have made a commitment to getting stuff done and not just mucking up the process. So we have to be more active here. And people like you and I, Jer, we have to discuss these things. But it's incredibly frustrating. I mean, the Rinsen project is one of the things that I think obviously is very polarizing for a lot of people, but it could be one of the most transformative projects that we've seen in the past 75 years, on the same scale as the Hudson's skyscraper, and on the same scale as the West Riverfront project. Like, it would be transformative.
But I think a lot of people don't think of it that way because of the tower deletions.
I don't care. Like the tower deletion, people can't use the buildings, Jer. They can't use them. All right. So for me, I understand how people feel in terms of the bruised ego. Maybe it's a capitulation. Maybe it's the city saying we couldn't handle it. No, this is the city saying we are willing to swallow our own pride and knock down a iconic building in order to make this space better for citizens. How is that not a better choice as opposed to having a giant albatross sit in the middle of our downtown?
I mean, it's possible that it would.
I know it would.
Or it all would be flattened.
Yeah, I would rather a new thing be there than the whole thing be flattened. That's what I would rather.
Love your thoughts. dailydetroit@gmail.com or voicemail 313-789-3211. Norris Howard, there is something very cool happening on Saturday, July 26th.
Yeah, that's right, man. Over on Cass and Peterborough, there's going to be the first annual Detroit Chinatown block party. It's going to be from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. over on Peterborough. That's over there by the Detroit Shipping Company, the old historic Chinatown. There's going to be all sorts of food and games and vendors and DJs, and they're going to do a lion dance, which I am a big fan of. If you ever seen the Chinese lion dance, it's really cool. I am very excited for this because I want to see this area get more investment, more revitalization. It is one of our big cultural areas of the city that I think could use this sort of energy. And so I'm going to be there. I'm going to be hanging out. So if you're looking for something to do on Saturday, it should be blazing hot, though. So make sure you're very, very careful out there and you got some hydration. But it should be big fun. There's going to be movies. There's going to be mahjong. There's going to be tours, books, all kinds of stuff that you expect from sort of a community fair, sort of like a return to the community fair feeling for the historic Chinatown over there on Cass and Peterborough. So again, that is going to be this Saturday, 12 to 8, Peterborough and Cass. Go down there and check it out.
I'm sad I'm going to miss it because I'll be in the Windy City, because I was very lucky to be able to go to Chung's, the legendary Chinese restaurant, just before it closed.
Just before it closed, man. I was too young. I couldn't go.
And that building has been all rehabbed. I think it's looking for tenants.
Yep.
But that's white boxed out space. I just was driving by it the other day.
Mm-hmm. It's ready to roll.
What cool things could be done there? I'm not saying that Chung's has to reopen. I don't live in that nostalgia.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is just so much cool stuff that's happening, and I think that it will be great to bring people through that neighborhood. There's so much potential. I know that like once you cross that block, things drop off real fast.
Yeah, but you
Like,
got
and when I mean drop off, I mean like literally like empty lots.
There's no buildings. Yeah, but that's the thing, is that you got to start somewhere, and I think this is a good start. The shipping company has been wildly successful.
Wildly.
And I think that is one of the most interesting and coolest anchor attractions in all of Midtown Detroit.
You know what the shipping company has now?
Yeah.
Doritos frozen drinks.
People really like that.
I do, because I love Doritos.
People really like Doritos. I'm indifferent.
Really?
Yeah.
No Mandarin for you?
No, not my jam.
Well, people should know.
But I hear a lot of people like it.
So go check it out Saturday, July 26th. And by the way, I'm going to include this in a wrap up that I do so people know every Friday morning, right around like 8:45, 8:30, 8:45, somewhere in there, I'm actually doing a segment on WJR Mornings about places to go around Detroit and stuff to do. And I'm really excited that, I've been there for a few weeks now, getting up early in the morning on Fridays, sharing 3 things that you need to check out. I'm also going to put those in our newsletter that you can sign up for at dailydetroit.com. Another thing I want to remind people of, thank you so much to our members on Patreon who make this possible. You can get swag, access to our community Discord, our secret podcast.
Secret podcast.
Called Off the Record, Off the Rails.
Now it's not a secret anymore.
But you won't find it on any podcast app. You'll only find it
in the Discord
and in the Patreon.
That's right. Only for members. Members only. And let me tell you, when we say off the rails, we mean it. It's wild. It's a wild show. So check it out. Off the Record, Off the Rails. Members only podcast. You got to be a member. Patreon. Slide over there. Check us out.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to your Daily Detroit. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around town.
Yeah.
And we're clear on the main show.
Yeah.
We made it through.
Dude, I had to hold my microphone the whole time because the thing was moving too much.
That's funny. Yeah, a little bit longer than we normally do, but we covered a lot.
We had a lot of stuff to talk about.
We did.
And considering you're going to be gone for a minute. We're
still going to do a show with Devin.
Yeah.
They'll air on Friday. So this will air, if you weren't on the live stream, or on the live stream, you already seen it, but this will be in your podcast feeds tomorrow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And then Devin O'Reilly will be Mr. Friday as he is. It'll be good to catch up with him about a bunch of stuff. But I'm looking forward to Chicago. But before we get into any of that stuff and where we've been, why don't we go ahead and look at our chat a little bit here?
Yeah, let's check it out. I think the first thing we want to say is I should run for council, especially District 5. You could do a great job with that. Man, do you know how many people are running for city council in District 5? Like 1,000 people.
A listener, Whitney Clark, is as a write-in candidate. We should have him in before the primary hits. But Whitney Clark is writing in District 5. I'm not doing endorsements, but he shows up to our events, like our studio open house that was Saturday that was very well attended.
Yeah, man. And you know what? I just want to say first and foremost, thank you to everybody who came out to the open house event. We had some great feedback on some projects we're working on in addition to the show. Love to see, we saw new faces, we saw familiar faces. I want to give a shout out to there was one couple that said they moved here from, I think it was Charlotte or something like that.
A number of places. I think they spent some time in Charlotte and Dallas.
Yeah, and they were like, nowhere feels like home like Detroit. And that just made me feel so great. So word out to them and word out to everybody else who came out to the open house. We had a great time.
I'm not going to let you leave this council run unaddressed, Norris, because I have to ask you a specific piece of policy.
Hit me with it.
What is the most absurd thing you would do if you were made council person for a day?
If I was made council person, like city council president for a day. Or like mayor for a day.
Mayor for a day. Yeah, mayor for a day. Most absurd thing.
Ban surface parking lots. I would ban them. I think every surface parking lot, if you own a surface parking lot, you would have 180 days to either sell it or give me a development plan that includes residential or commercial.
And you're talking about the big lots.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not talking about like a...
No, not like a reeking lot somewhere. But definitely if you're in the downtown core, ban them. They're banned. Yep, you got to put something there. You got to do something with it. That would be the wildest thing I do. And everybody would hate me, but I don't care. All right. And then people will be so happy because 5 years after I'm gone and after my crazy day of running Detroit, we had all kind of apartment buildings and cool shops and all kinds of stuff.
We'll stick your head on the Spirit of Detroit. We'll replace the head with Norris Howard.
You got to make sure he got dressed, though.
I think what I would do, and this I'll go with truly absurd. You know, when I was running around Greektown in the early 2000s in my early drinking days, me and producer Cheyenne.
Greektown was wild back then, boy. Y'all think it's wild now. Greektown was crazy back then.
So people don't know producer Cheyenne is my cousin.
Yep.
And so we both would sometimes head down, and we had a few wobbly pops.
Little wobbly pop.
Little wobbly pop. And we joked that we were going to ban the letter P. So it'd be the new Arthenon.
That's
Agassiz.
That's literally stupid.
The eel mover.
Yeah, y'all was.
We were just a few wobbly pops in. So
I'm not
everything
sure
we
that
went
was
into-
wobbly pop. There might have been some psilocybin involved.
I cannot confirm or deny. But that would be the most absurd thing I would do. I would just ban the letter P.
Yeah. I want us to return back to the chat as Mr. 1213 says once again, Avenue of Fashion needs a Starbucks on the Strip. It would make money and have continuing customers more than other previous coffee shops that try operating on that strip. As much as I dislike Starbucks as an idea, he's not wrong.
Not wrong at all.
It's got to be a chain.
People love their... Hard facts is that people love their chains.
They
As much
love
as
their
I like
chains.
independent stuff, and I'll go to Detroit Sip, people
They
do
want
like
the
their
chains.
chains.
They want the chain. I think it would be so wildly successful over there too, not just because of the type of people that live over there, but now it becomes more of a destination. There's already a Starbucks over there on 8 Mile and Woodward, a little bit past,
Right in front of the Meijer.
right in front of the Meyer. But that's a different clientele. Like you don't make the Starbucks on Avenue of Fashion to serve that clientele. Those are people going to and from work who are leaving the Meyers. You do the one down there because that serves that neighborhood. In that neighborhood almost exclusively, right? Like, I think it would be phenomenal. I think people should absolutely try it, whether it be Starbucks or Big B or somebody like that. Like, somebody should put a chain coffee place over there, and I think it will slap. Absolutely.
By the way, thank you to Mr. Duckett for reminding me about Simply Casual Clothing Store. It made me sound very smart.
Yeah,
In the audio.
Yeah, it did. Mr. Duckett, thanks for the alley-oop on that one.
I appreciate it because you all, the community, are the best. So where were we yesterday?
Okay. So we got invited to a crisis in media
Local
meeting,
news.
and crisis in local news meeting at the Detroit Athletic Club yesterday.
I had to tuck my shirt in.
We both did. I was surprised I'm surprised they didn't make me cut my hair. Anyway, it was a very interesting conversation because it was a lot of luminaries in the media.
Chuck Todd,
And a lot of local luminaries as well.
publisher of the Free Press, head of Michigan Public,
Head of
the
Graham
Michigan
Media
Chronicle. Yeah, Graham Media Group. Yep.
Yep. So a lot of people who are there. It's very inside baseball for us in terms of the media landscape. And they were talking about the struggles that local media is having right now financially. There's not enough subscribers to the shows. The advertisers are not spending as much money.
People aren't reading newspapers.
They're not reading the newspapers, which, like, why are we even talking about that in 2025? But anyway, it had some glaring omissions, and I'm not afraid to admit that on air. There were some blind spots of this particular talk, and that was very frustrating.
For me, it validated that we've got work to do. And what I mean, we've got work to do. And of course, we collaborate with folks, the fine folks at Outlier Media. You've seen him on here. Orlando's a dear friend of the show. Aaron, all them, and other people we've collaborated with.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm going on the radio every Friday morning.
There we go.
We're doing already what they say people should be doing.
Yeah, that was their main thing, is that outlets should collaborate, but we've been doing that.
So here's the thing. I think it's up to us. It's up to us and you, the community. We got to work together to build the local news and local information. Because, there's the news part. But I think also super important with local is making sure you're connected to the new stuff, the old stuff, the interesting stuff happening in your community.
That's right.
It's more than just like blood and guts. It's more than just like political scandal. Being a local news outlet is about coalescing our community, bringing our community together. And so, obviously, if you've got thoughts, put them in the comments, dailydetroit@gmail.com. We've got some big plans. I'm actually, part of this trip is a vacation, but part of it's work.
Yeah.
Going to Chicago because I'm looking to get a lot of these ideas of successful things because we have big things that we want to do here. And what this conference made me realize is that we got work to do. Like, we together, you, me, all of us have a lot of work to do. And like the Blues Brothers, if I had sunglasses right now, I'd be like, I'm on a mission from God.
Yeah, we're
Like
on
the
a
movie
mission.
line.
No, man, we're
on a
musicians.
mission.
No, man, we're musicians.
No, man, we're musicians. We're podcasters.
No, man, we're podcasters. No, I thoroughly agree. Listen, Daily Detroit has always been a community effort. It has always been a collaboration between Jer and the various hosts and their circle and their networks and the people around them, and then y'all, the viewers, the community, the listeners. We source so much information from you guys, and we love that because that's kind of what community news should be.
It should be. I don't have ego around this stuff. I just want the cool stuff to get out there.
Absolutely.
Or the not cool stuff, but stuff that you need to know about.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I think obviously, as I've said before, that the big networks and the local news, they have their place. They have a service that they do provide. But I think what we provide is very different. And I think in a perfect world, you'd be consuming both. But if you got to pick one, pick us because we're cooler by a lot, by like a lot.
I want to get into the comments again. Andrew McGee. How about opening a Werner store downtown, like an old school soda fountain, ice cream parlor, and merchandise shop?
Should have been done yesterday.
Yes.
Should have been done yesterday.
This needs to happen. I am calling.
Fago should do it too.
Look, Pepsi just closed up.
Yeah.
That they're still doing distribution, but they closed up the bottler in Detroit. Just got that news yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Werner's wasn't made here. I don't know what it takes. I don't know if the brand needs to move. I don't know what needs to happen. But this needs to happen. Werner's store in downtown Detroit. Our people want it.
Absolutely.
Let's make it happen.
And
because this would be so good for tourism. Yeah, they'd make money, but it would be a destination that everybody can rally around.
Yeah, it's like
and I can moonlight as the Werner's gnome. I can make some extra money.
The Werner's gnome. That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut. The
So people don't
gnome.
know. What was it? I think he drove a Gremlin.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this big dude that dressed up. He would go around. It was an actual dude who would show up like a sports mascot.
Yeah.
He would show up places and espouse the joy of Werner's.
Yeah.
Because the plant actually, for a good amount of time, it was downtown.
Yep.
And then it's in Midtown, actually. It was in Midtown now where Studio One is now. Because the plant took over where the convention center was.
Yep.
But yeah, Werner's. This is a great idea.
It's a great idea.
This absolutely should happen. There could be so much nostalgia. You could bring back, there was like a Werner sign on the riverfront. I know it would take money. This needs to happen.
You know how heat that would be? Kind of like how the Domino Sugar sign is
All
in Brooklyn.
the drones would come by.
Yeah, man.
Get the animated bottle. Okay, so you go back into the
and
historic.
make it like old neon too.
Right.
Actual neon. None of that LED crap.
Go to
neon.
Go to historicdetroit.org. You'll see the old sign that was on Woodward. Look it up. It's in there somewhere. Dan Austin, shout out, do amazing work. There's a sign that shows the bottling plant. It's right next to the Whitney.
Yep.
Take that, make it big downtown, make it so the drones and the social media can see it, and bring that brand back, people.
To the city, flat out.
I'm calling on it here. I'm calling on the
Clip this, tag Werner's. All right? That's what I'm telling y'all right now. Clip this, tag Werner's. We sending it to them, and they need to do this ASAP. All right? And they need to pay us half because it was all right. Actually, Andrew McGee, it was your idea. So they need to pay you and us half.
We're talking about sustainable models for local journalism. Here you go.
There you go. Just corporations take our ideas and run with them and pay us. No, and continuing the conversation, Mr. 2113, once again, Detroit needs a lot of destination retail and businesses that'll be a major draw. You're not wrong. I mean, this is something that you're starting to see in the commercial corridor on Woodward, which is our high street again. And, you're seeing the Fenty store and you're seeing the Apple store and you're seeing kind of
There's like
more
a boot store that's opened up in Hudson's, which I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, for your Western wear.
Do you wear Western wear? Do
I
you own
don't,
cowboy
but I'm
boots?
not old enough. All right.
Okay.
See, kind of like how when you get old enough as a black man, you get into your 40s, you start doing the linen suits and the woven sandals and stuff. When you hit your 50s, then it's cowboy boot time. So when you're a black man and you come from a black city, at some point in life, you're gonna have some boots. You are going to buy some cowboy boots.
2 missed brand opportunities right now that we could do. 3 brand opportunities.
Yeah.
Off the rip. That are Detroit related that we don't do that we could do.
Yeah.
1, it is dumb that there is not a Little Caesars destination store where you can buy the plushies or do the little pizza on a stick with the tigers. They run
Or
around
the
with it
kits.
for the home
You remember
runs.
the pizza kits from back in the day?
There should be the most ultimate Little Caesars flagship store in their headquarters.
There should be. There
And
should
it's
be.
a union assembly or whatever. That it needs to happen.
I agree.
that needs to happen. There's the Fox is turning into eventually one day, maybe, who knows, a boutique hotel.
Right.
There used to be that one restaurant down there. You could turn that into like, it's got to be like this like absurd place to bring people in.
Yes.
Second,
Yeah.
bring back Sanders.
I agree.
I know it's a brand that's not as strong as it used to be, but a downtown Sanders in the old school. Look, when that Sanders sign from the 1940s came up, I covered that. We covered
Yeah.
that first on Daily Detroit.
Yeah.
500,000 damn people came through that
Because people
in a
cared.
day. In a day.
Yeah, because people cared. It's a sign of Detroit. It's a nostalgia thing, and also like it would be like the Hershey store in downtown Chicago. Like people go there all the time, and that's not even Hershey ain't even from Chicago. Or the Lowry's or the Lowry's restaurant. Like it's just
I love how you say Lowry's.
Lowry's. Just we need that kind of stuff, man. I would love that.
Third idea.
Okay, hit me with it.
Why the hell is there not a Faygo experience?
Same thing.
We went to that.
I just said that. I was like, Faygo. Right as soon as we talked about Verner's, it got to be a Faygo experience, too. You can taste every flavor.
Every flavor. And I know there was that little pop-up. No, this needs to be a permanent store.
Yep.
Do beautiful colors with
All the merch.
Every Faygo ever made, the merch.
Yep.
Everything. It needs to be like a permanent thing. If we're going to have downtown be for the tourists.
We need kitschy stuff. Kitschy touristy stuff.
Kitschy stuff that relates to us.
Yep. We do. Just like if you went to Times Square, but if you went to Times Square, there's all kinds of places to buy I Love New York stuff. Everywhere. It's constant. You can't not buy it. There's whole stores dedicated to just I Love New York stuff.
Look, it's still wild that there isn't a true welcome center in downtown Detroit.
It really isn't. It kind of sucks.
I know that
we sit on the international border, too, you would think.
The people who run the City Institute used to do something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy to me. Every city should have that. A retail welcome center. I'm almost about to stick some brochures out the front door here at Castle Burrows.
But for real, man.
I'll just pass them out.
I think
I'll
those
be
would
like,
be good
what
ones.
is it, the Israeli? Who are those people downtown? The Israelites?
Oh, the Black Hebrew Israelites?
Right, but
Yeah.
for Detroit brochures.
No, that'd be dope. You just can't yell at white people that much.
Faygo Confectionery Parlor, says Mr. One. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it'd be so good if you could get cotton candy, like Faygo flavored cotton candy at the Faygo place. So you could go and get like a rock and rye flavored cotton candy at the Faygo store. Or just any Faygo flavor, anything. Could you imagine a 60-40 flavored candy that you could get at the Faygo store? It would be incredible.
It would be so
It
good.
would be incredible.
All right, I have another, I may have an unpopular opinion here.
Okay.
I grew up around Sanders Bumpy Cake.
Yeah.
If you want the taste of the Bumpy Cake nowadays that's really good, get the Bon. It's not called Bumpy Cake. It's called chocolate something something. That is what slaps from the day.
Yeah. Bon's great in general.
Yes, and they are downtown.
Yes, they are.
They're tucked over in
Trappers Alley.
Not Trappers. No.
Not Trappers Alley. Wow.
Now, that shows how old we are.
I'm very
Trappers
old.
Alley. Okay, favorite Trappers Alley moment. Go. Or place.
You put me on the spot.
Okay, think about it. Let me tell the people. If you don't know, Trappers Alley was where Greektown Casino is now today.
Mm-hmm.
It was multi-story. It was at a fudge confectionery shop at the bottom floor.
Yeah.
You could go up all the different stuff. You had toys. You had clothes.
I think it was
I've got a favorite, but you.
I was little, so it's probably toy stuff when I think about it. So it's probably something toy related or candy related, to be fair.
Up on the third or fourth floor.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a place that sold model wood things, like wood models.
Oh, okay. Like
So
hand carved stuff.
Like kits.
Oh, kits to build wood stuff.
Right.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
And so we would go up there, and I would go up there and like get a kit every like month or two.
Yeah.
And they usually weren't very complicated or whatever, but I was
Yeah.
just obsessed.
No, see, there you go.
That
There you
was
go.
my thing. That
But
was my thing.
Bon is in the alley over there at the Shinola Hotel. What's the name of that alley? What they call in that alley?
Parker's Alley.
Parker's Alley. There
Because
you
there's
go.
the Belt, and then there's Parker's
That's
Alley.
Parker's Alley. Bon's over there.
Right. Along with Rebel Nell
That's right.
and Mr. Dips,
Yes.
which in a pinch, not bad.
No, and Brakeman.
Brakeman.
Yes. Which, by the way, if
Okay.
you are under 25, just go to Brakeman.
Yeah. Although
Just
I
go
don't
to
like the
Brakeman.
token system for the beer.
No, me neither. But whatever.
And then
Go there when you're already drunk.
And then there's Penny Reds right
Yes, yes.
there. The Lone Goat across the street, which Devin very much likes the Lone Goat.
Lone Goat's okay. If you're into like British beers,
He's a Devin O'Reilly.
yeah. If you're into anything
Irish, British.
the British Isles, you'll be cool over there.
Okay, we got some more stuff. Fago Confectionery Parlor.
Absolutely.
Fago ice cream over pop soda drink could be served. Yes.
Hold on. The Hudson's needs to have a small Hudson store inside the new building. They should totally do that.
Total Inception moment.
Yes.
Like Hudson's inside. Okay, fun fact. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't. I don't know if I can move the camera in time. But, or move the camera at all. But over in the corner of our studio, we actually have an original Hudson's couch. It was a couch that you would sit on, like from like the 50s or
When
whatever.
like your wife was trying on clothes.
Yes, and that is actually the couch in the studio. I drove all the way to Flint and bought it from the daughter of a former Hudson's employee.
Yeah.
And they had picked it up. I had to evict a rat out of it.
That's crazy. But yeah, it's original, man. We'll you know what? We'll just take a picture of it and put it on social and say like, hey, here's the Hudson's couch that we got. This is the husband couch.
Yeah, or wife. I mean, back then it was mostly husband.
It was the husband couch. Come on now.
But I want to be more inclusive, just like the
We're talking about the 50s, Jer. Inclusivity was not a part of the conversation, sir. It was the husband couch. All right? It was what it was, okay? I'm just saying. But anyway, I would love a Hudson store inside of the Hudson's Tower because my favorite Hudson's experience actually wasn't at the Hudson's Tower. It was when Hudson's was in Northland, and you would go to Northland, and they had the Hudson's out there, and they had where you could get the froyo in the basement, and you get the fresh fruit with the froyo in the basement.
No. Here we go. Hudson's Restaurant.
Yeah.
With the Maurice. I don't know if you need the store could be like a kitschy like back like Hudson's like the Santa Bears. So I actually have a few old Santa Bears.
You use Santa Bears. You get a Maurice salad. You get some froyo. You get all kinds of stuff, man.
The Santa Bears are so cool. I love them.
Yeah.
But the Maurice, because that was one thing. We actually did a series of episodes. If you're new to the show, we did a series of episodes sending Devin around to different Maurice salads. He was the happiest clam in the world because he loves.
He does.
We
love that
still
salad.
get. We literally got email last week when he went to the Edsel Ford house asking, did he get the Maurice?
Dig it.
Because that is how much people are obsessed with the Maurice
We love
salad.
it. Speaking of emails, do we have any emails to respond to today?
I need to look. We have been very busy.
We have been. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just kidding. That was more of a question to the universe, to be honest with you. I was just thinking out loud. But yeah, no, I think that'd be cool, man. I think there should be some sort of, I mean, the name in and of itself is an honor, but I think there should be something inside the building that also honors the legacy of the Hudsons as well. That'd be cool.
Can I tell you, this is a little off topic, but you know, we're going till like 3:30, whatever. With things.
We're here.
So I'm going to Chicago, right? But I'm going Saturday to Tuesday.
Okay.
So I can get a couple of work days in.
Yeah.
Because I got some stuff I want to do. I am so excited. This is admitting my full nerdery here. I am going to a meeting on Monday, taking the red line. Mm-hmm. So I'm using the L to go to an actual meeting downtown.
Yeah.
And I am going to be at one of the new stations they just cut the ribbon on like a week ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get to tour that. Like, I am so excited.
You are a nerd.
About this.
Yeah.
I am jittering with excitement to show people. You know why I want to show people? Because transit's moved so far with so many things. I want to show people what something new could look like. Here. New and modern.
We'll see.
I know everybody else is a transit. I know.
I'm glad you're excited for something. But I got a bone to pick with the listeners.
A bone to pick with the listeners?
I got a bone to pick
None of
with
these
the
ones on
listeners.
our chat, right?
No, none of y'all. Y'all cool. Okay. But I got a bone to pick with our listeners because this week, or what was it, last week? I can't remember. But anyway, one of the previous shows that we did, we talked about a new building opening up in the Boston Edison community.
And you're not calling out one person. We got a number of feedbacks
This is a
around
number of people, and I'm standing on business, all right? We talked about this building. We're very effusive, very positive about this because at the end of the day, I think it's very important for us to highlight different types of development in different neighborhoods. Now, a lot of listeners did not like the fact that I think that they should get rid of their NIMBYism, and I'm going to explain what NIMBYism is, but get rid of that and think about having more holistic neighborhoods. Now, NIMBYism is an acronym that stands for Not in My Backyard. It is a thing that people use whenever they don't want undesirables in their neighborhoods, whether they be undesirable companies or factories or people. And the response we got to that story was very frustrating because as an African-American person, we are consistently subjected to NIMBYism throughout most of our history in this country. And I'll be damned if we don't do that to each other. That's the thing that's frustrating to me. So during this story, or in the response to this story, we got a lot of responses talking about that they don't want a income-adjusted apartment in their neighborhood. They don't want it's going to bring undesirables. It's going to increase crime. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. First and foremost, everybody deserves to live in a safe place. That includes poor people. Everyone deserves to live in a safe place. So if I was somebody who was, making X amount of dollars and maybe I didn't have a lot and this unit popped up in a pretty decent neighborhood and I got on the list and was able to get in, that immediately increases my quality of life. Why do you not want that for your brothers and sisters who just make a little bit less than you? So to all the listeners who are very upset about that, I would advise you to really take a look in the mirror and understand that, there are some people who don't want to live next to you neither. But we got to be better, and we got to move forward in the future of this city and think about what type of city we want to live in. And I want to live in a city that's equitable. I want to be a person that can live in any neighborhood I want to live in and not have to really worry about how much money I make. I want everybody in the city to have the experience in the city that I have, which is one that is safe, that's beautiful, that's filled with shops and activities, and filled with people who are neighborly to one another. So that's what I want, y'all. Come on now.
Yeah, that's. I wanted you to speak on it because that feedback didn't. We don't always try to get racial here, but the feedback didn't come from my people.
No, I know it didn't. Because I know where it came from. I know the neighborhood well. I know where it came from. So let's not do that, y'all. We had an opportunity to be so much better. We have an opportunity to be so much better. And I'll say this, and I'll say this freely. There's a lot of people who don't want equality. They just want their turn to be the oppressor, dog. Flat out. That's what them comments gave to me. So if that means you guys don't want to listen to the show anymore, I understand. But I just really want everybody to think twice about how they feel about this stuff, because a poor person does not automatically equate to somebody that's looking to do crime in your neighborhood. Let's be for real.
Well, I'm going to circle back to the live chat real quick before we go.
Yeah,
I appreciate all your words.
Let's
but
land
I
on
don't
a high
feel
note.
I don't feel like I have a place to say much.
No, I feel you, and I respect that. So let's end on a high note, my dog.
Andrew, I love trains too. When my mom took me to Chicago as a young kid, I made her ride the subway all the way to the last stop. I did that when I was a kid here in Detroit with the People Mover, and the thing is, there is no last stop.
There's no last stop because it's a circle, doggy. We love that, man. I actually have ridden the red line because that's the one that goes all the way north, all the way south.
Yep.
I've ridden the red line all the way both ways, and it's pretty fun. Yeah, it was pretty fun. But that's a wild train line. You get to see the whole gamut of Chicago. If you start on the north side and you go south, it could be pretty jarring.
And I want to remind people on the live stream, in case you didn't catch the last episode, we have the People Mover station that actually changed names.
That's right.
It's now Water Square Station as opposed
right.
to Joe Louis, which we need to do some honoring of Joe Louis, 100%.
Oh, yeah. We got to name something else after him.
We got to do something else. I know there's a Joe Louis Greenway.
Yeah, but what if we rename this park that may not happen after Joe Louis? We said the Joe Louis Waterfront Park.
I got to say something. So I live on the east side, and I live in a neighborhood that is, we got challenges, okay?
Yeah.
But I was so glad to see that the Sylvester Park over there
Sylvester
was so well taken care of.
Oh, that's good.
I'm loving all the great improvements on parks. And I was over in Roosevelt Park in Corktown as well. Flowers
So
everywhere.
beautiful over there.
Just gorgeous. And I just love, because I remember when all of our parks
Looked like that.
looked, well, and also looked like hell.
I do too.
And then to go in the middle of a neighborhood that I know people don't think about as much, because I live in a place people don't think about as much, and see that being taken care of as well. I mean, it just made me feel real good. I was really glad to see that.
Word to the city of Detroit for looking out. And word to the residents over there, too, because there's a lot of work residents put into our local parks that a lot of people tend to forget. So word to the residents and word to the neighborhoods in general, bro.
Michael says he's late to the party, but glad I caught part of this. Yes, I'm so glad, Michael. I know Michael, in one way or another, has been following us for a while. I really appreciate all of the things with Michael. It's very awesome.
We love Michael.
Yes, absolutely. So I think we're going to wrap up for now, huh?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, of course, we will be back here next week. We might have a special guest,
Ooh,
but we'll see how that all
special
works.
gift.
Yeah, because somehow some booking ended up over the live stream. So we'll probably end up doing our regular show, an interview, and then the live chat.
Yeah,
Going to put you through a marathon when we come back.
we love that, though.
I know. You appreciate the pain.
I do. Listen, no pain, no gain. Nothing worth doing ever came without sacrifice, my friend.
This is true. All right. Well, with that, I am Jer Stays.
And I'm Norris Howard.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to our members on Patreon, patreon.com/dailydetroit. Without your local support, local media cannot happen. So join us, patreon.com/dailydetroit. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around town.